up, you guys? It is Mary. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today we are going to be covering New York Fashion Week, but today we're going to be talking about Alexandra Wang. Not to get confused with Vera Wang, two different people. But he had his fall ready-to-wear collection 2023, and you know, it was quite interesting when I was watching it. It gave me the vibes of like coming out at night, time to play. That's what it was giving me, if you follow my drift. But I did some research, and he said it was about, the inspiration was Cupid's door, so I guess it was like in the mood for love. Whatever, however you want to take that. Yeah, so it was quite interesting. Apparently the show was kind of broken up into 3 different sections, which I figured because at first when you come out, it's kind of like the more really like, it kind of reminds me of a scene where you're like getting, like putting on lingerie, getting ready for your man or something. And then the second one seemed like it was more for the men, but they were more covered up. And then the last one, it seemed like, okay, yes, we've had our sexy time, but we're going to go out to dinner or whatever, but I still want to look sexy for you. That's what it was giving me. But the first one he said was the mood for love. The second one was more of a casual thing, and then the third one was like mainly made out of like silk fringe dresses. We're gonna go ahead and talk about the first part of the collection. There was a lot of python, low slung pants. It seemed like I don't know if it was leather or not, but he had a lot of faux fur jackets in this collection. He also had like these business silhouettes, but it was kind of paired with like lingerie or like little to no clothing underneath for the silhouette. So it was kind of like I'm wearing my man's suit or whatever when he comes home or whatever, you know. Like it was giving me like fantasy vibes like for this collection for sure. He did have some zebra prints. He also had, for the colors, it really kind of seemed like it was moody nightlife because they kind of walked in the shape of a heart. It was kind of really dimly lit. It was kind of like pink lighting, pink LED light. And you had some of the silhouettes. I mean, for me personally, I don't know if I'm a fan of the third part of the collection. Can I say I'm a fan of the whole entire collection? I can't really say that. Because I was kind of confused because it seemed like, you know, going out partying, clubbing or whatever, or going to see your man. And then it was like you had like these business attire. So it was like you have a lot of casual wear, but then you have a lot of lingerie, and then you have this business wear as well. So it was interesting. The men's collection that he had was more so covered up. Like I think he only had one guy that was shirtless, but the men really stayed with like these athleisure silhouettes, like sweatpants, you know, tops and pants as well. And then you had like these jackets. I think one had like these python overalls. But the first part of the collection, it was really just women in like sheer dresses and panties. They did have some business silhouettes really for the women. They didn't have many business silhouettes. Like they had like maybe 2. They had about 2 business silhouettes, but most of it was athleisure for the most part for the second collection. The second part of the collection. For the third part of the collection, it really was, which was my favorite part. I absolutely love these like silk fringe gowns. They had some that were kind of shaped, like the bodice was shaped in a heart, and it was made from fringe, and it was shaped into a heart on like a net, like a sheer netting underneath, which you can't really see because it's sheer. But I really did love these. I mean, some of them kind of were risque. I think one lady kind of had like her cheeks out, but it was kind of hidden a little bit with the silk fringe. But I did love the third half of this collection. I felt like if he was going to do men and women, I felt like he probably could have done something else with the men's. I don't know what, but I just felt like the first half of the collection I really did not like. I was not a fan of. It really just seemed like lingerie. There were a couple pieces that I did like. I really did love like these beautiful like short gowns. These like shorts, it looks like a coat, but it's kind of like shaped in a dress, and then you had like this belt. He had 2 of those. One was white, one was black. I really did love those. The faux fur coats were kind of cool. I did like that. But for me, he kind of lost me with the business silhouettes for the women. And I felt like he probably should have kept with the faux fur, or kind of like this sexy elegance almost, with a hint of risque. He probably should have kept within that theme. But I just felt like the lingerie and all the sheerness all over the place, and then the athleisure mixed with the business, it was kind of confusing. I felt like when I went to Vogue Runway, they just did not really explain it as well as I would have liked so I could get it. But I don't know, do we just go ahead and start talking about the collection? Yeah. Yeah. But I guess we're going to go ahead and just talk about the silhouettes. So he had oversized fur coats, shiny pants, he had Nikon tops, lace nightgowns, stockings, suits on top of lingerie, oversized coats, sparkly suits, big shoulders, husband work shirts, which I talked to you guys about. And then he had like leopard print overall shiny vest. He had athletic jackets. He had silk pajama pants. And then he had like these French tops and these French shaped in a heart, long French gowns and low backs, and then cheeks out under fringe. So he had some booty cheeks out underneath the fringe. And then he had basically worked with black, white, blue, gray, orange, green, and reds, and pinks. I felt like the collection was a bit confusing. I know obviously men and women go hand in hand with, creating life or whatever, stuff like that, and making love. I mean, even if you're not heterosexual or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, so I don't know, it just seemed a bit confusing for me. I guess we can just go ahead into some of the individual looks. This one I just was not a fan of. I did not like the python pants, and then the huge fur coat, and then you have like this business top underneath, and then you have like this little bralette under. I did not really like it. It just was giving me confused. And then also I did not like the boxers or whatever. It kind of looks like she showed up to work, showed up to her man's job in his clothes and was like, take me on a desk or something. So really necessarily was not my favorite, this second look that he had, with these red boots. Yeah, and then it's like she had like these fur cuffs as well. So it was all a bit confusing. This was one of my favorites though. I did love like this faux fur jacket, and it was kind of shaped in like a skirt, but then it's like tied with a belt. So it is really beautiful. I do love the red shoes with this one. I thought it looks really nice because it looks like she's matched with either a red or a nude pinkish lip. So I did love this. I love how it's kind of gathered with the belt. I do love the simplicity of it. And I also love kind of like the aesthetic of the whole thing. Now the whole business shirt with the sparkly tie wasn't necessarily my favorite, but it is giving, the collection overall to me is giving like this fantasy or whatever, like some type of fantasy that they're thinking about. I want to go ahead and talk about the men quickly. There's just one guy who's wearing like these python pants, and then he has like this gray sweatshirt on top. It really kind of gave me like he was going to like a London rock concert or something like that. It's quite interesting. I do love the bagginess of the silhouette. The next one that I love is that I love that this guy had all of his hair out, and then he had like his top unbuttoned. I do love the sparkly shoes that went with this. He said that most of the male silhouettes or the male outfits was mixed with a sensuality or a feminine touch, because they were all kind of draped in sparkles. Like you can't really see it, but I mean if you're sitting there, I'm sure you'll be able to see that the men's outfits were also quite sparkly. He once said that he wanted to add a bit of sensuality as well to the clothes for the men. But I felt like his best work was honestly these fringe dresses with the hearts. I just thought the silk fringe dresses were really amazing. Beautiful movement, looks phenomenal on the models. And I do love how he's playing with textures. He's playing with silhouette a little bit, and he's definitely playing like with placement on the fringe. Definitely something different. I thought was beautiful. I love this white one, was one of my favorites. The next favorite for me was the orange, because it kind of reminded me of like a samba outfit where you have like all this fringe, you have this great movement, and it's kind of like the fringe is lined going down the skirt, kind of like in stripes. But it's in fringe, and I love that. And I also love how it's kind of shaped in a V, so it's like it makes your waist look smaller, but also it kind of accentuates your hips. I love that type of waistline on women. That's the waistline I usually use for most of my outfits, and it's phenomenal. I really do love how it shapes a woman. This long fringe orange dress was phenomenal. I love the heart. I love how long and dramatic it is. I felt like he probably should have went with this theme for throughout his collection. I felt like it would have been a knockout for sure. And then he could have maybe had like some shorter pieces that had the fringe, or maybe had some lacing or whatever. But to me, I felt like this collection was kind of all over the place. But I absolutely love this lace fringe look with the orange. I thought it was phenomenal. The lace nightgowns, I felt like he could have done without. But I don't know, you guys. Did you guys like the collection? Were you confused by it, or are you just like obsessed with the Homes collection? Let me know down below. But yeah, that was the Alexandra Wang collection. I thought it was interesting, but I was also kind of confused with it overall. I wish he probably would have kind of stuck with one theme and just stuck there, and would have, kept that going maybe. But it seemed like it was kind of all over the place. I know he said Cupid's love and everything, which I totally do see like some fantasies that you will kind of see like in romance novels for sure. But it was kind of confusing between the zebra prints and the python sparkly pants, and then the business, and then the casual athleisure. It was all a little confusing for me. But if you guys disagree, or if you agree, comment down below, you all. But it's Mary. I invite you guys to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below.